Welcome to the Millennium Stadium, round 4 championship action here for you today as Featherstone look to extend their unbeaten start to the league campaign against Whitehaven. And me, Matt Shaw, taking you commentary alongside Pete Dutton. Pete, look, Whitehaven are going to be perceived as one of the clubs that are going to be around the bottom, but they've already proven they've got wins over Newcastle, wins over Dewsbury. They're not to be rested on, are they?
I don't think, Matt, in any way that you can take this Whitehaven team lightly. And what I look at, Matt, is that, you know, they've nothing to lose in this game. You know, they can come here, they can play, they can adapt any style that they want. Because I think if you look at everything, everybody's kind of like expecting Featherstone, the form team at the moment, looking to make it 3 from 3 in the league to have a go. You look at the pitch, the conditions, the fast track. Everybody seems to think that it'll suit Featherstone. However, you know, Whitehaven again, we don't know. They're a bit of an unknown quantity. They can play well, if they do get well and they get that head of steam up, then it's theirs for their taking.
Yeah, they've signed a lot from overseas of Whitehaven that we don't know a lot about right now. Nicole Williams, Lachlan Wormsley, and a few others in there as well. Just on Featherstone though, great start to the year. Only lost to one game. That was against a Super League team that remain unbeaten. They beat everyone and beat everyone quite comfortably in their own league. Is this a day where Featherstone really look to put the foot on the throat and put a big score on? And we've seen, say, Swinton last week racked up a huge score early, couldn't quite back that up for the rest of the game. Is this the game where progression for them will be getting that good start and then going, bang, right, we're carrying this on to minute 80?
I think we spoke before, Matt, and we've always said it's about cohesion. And the fact is, Featherstone need to find this way of gelling an 80-minute performance together, you know, and not give silly penalties away, you know, when they can put teams to the sword. Not be afraid to play the expansive rugby that they like to play, but also not be afraid to control and just know when you need to just step back a little bit and not rush the plays, because I think a lot of it where errors have come when they should have been in dominance or they have been dominant, you know, the errors have come because they've just tried to rush that play too much. Going back to Whitehaven, as you say, you know, the kid who's playing, I think he's playing fullback today for Whitehaven, Wormsley. Yeah. You know, very talented, very, very talented. He scored 3 tries so far, I think, in the games that he's played, and he's got a real turn of pace. So again, running on deep or just coming into the line. Again, I think Featherstone's defensive unit are going to have to be, you know, switched on to that today. Yeah,
just on this game quickly, we've seen a lot of unpredictable results so far in the Championship. Just yesterday, Bartley hammered Widnes, which I don't think at the start of the season many would have predicted. York haven't had the start they would have expected. Sheffield annihilated Bradford. It's not a competition anymore where, for a team like Featherstone, perceived to be one of the favourites, where they can take it easy against a team like Whitehaven.
There's no easy wins in this league, Matt. No easy wins whatsoever. And I think that's what's helping add to the quality. And a lot of people in rugby league circles are talking about the football and the quality of the football in that's been played in the Championship. And rightly, as you say, Matt, it's anybody's game. You know, it's anybody's game. A few little mistakes, and obviously with the new rule adjustments and things like that, it can work in your favour.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Well, we will hear a bit more from Pete later on. We're going to hear from the coaches right now. We'll hear from Whitehaven coach Gary Charlton, but first here's the Fev head coach James Webster. You play against a Whitehaven team that are going to come here with no fear and plenty of confidence after a good win last week. How difficult and how different is this challenge that you face today?
I think most games in the Championship are pretty similar in that they're big, strong, physical people. I thought they were fantastic last week against Newcastle, and I actually thought they even played better against Dewsbury the week before and they didn't win. Big physical side. I like both their halfbacks. You know, Dixon on the left, big, strong thing for a halfback, carries the ball, and you know, Wormsley as a winger / fullback, playing fullback today, is a right handful. He's got plenty of raps, and I can see why. You know, they've got some players that can cause us numerous threats.
For your team, obviously a win, but what else would class as success for you today?
Just the process. You know, it's a big thing for us. You know, we've played in spits since starts, and you know, we've had some good moments, and we've had plenty of very average moments. So, being able to grind and play tougher for longer would please me. And you know, we need to do that to win to start with, because Cumbrian players, especially, you know, they give their heart and soul, and big, strong, physical lads that you don't beat them easily.
And for some of, just on team news, some of the changes you've made, you're showing off the amount of squad depth you have today with the changes you've been able to make.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky in that we're reasonably fit, other than James Harrison, we're in pretty good shape. So we're one of the few lucky teams in the country at the moment that can do that. So we've rested Frankie and we've put Josh Hardcastle in. So that's our only change from last week. But we need to be aware there's no reserve grade, and we need to make sure we have people as fit as possible. We don't have a game next week because it's Toulouse. Frankie's been really good for us this year, and he's a big talent. And saying that, Josh was great when Thomas Mins was out. So we need to somehow keep people playing consistently.
Gary, no doubt about it, a very tough test for your team today, but can you come into it with confidence given the way you've played and the results you've got so far?
Yeah, I definitely think we got a lot of confidence out of the Newcastle game last week. I thought we played very well in the first half. We were up at 93% completion rate. We need to produce that again today. It's going to be a tough ask, but our boys are really looking forward to the challenge.
What do you make of Featherstone as a team, and certainly how they fare compared to other championship teams?
Well, they're a good team, aren't they? They've been well put together, they're well coached. As you said before, it's a big challenge for us, but one that we're really looking forward to.
You obviously without a few notable players today. How hard is that going to make it? Does it make it more difficult than it would have been realistically?
Well, it does. You come away from home. It's a lot harder than playing at home. Losing some of the senior players is going to be hard work, but it gives the other lads a chance.
And just on your own team, as we said, great start, picked up a really good win against Newcastle, you've beat Dewsbury. Do you think you're already changing a few preconceptions that the rivals and fans may have had about you this year?
Well, I think so. Every time we go out, I ask our boys to go out and give 100%. I think they do that week in, week out. We know we're limited. We probably haven't got the clientele that other teams have got, but what we've got is plenty hard, and we'll give it a good go every week.
Best of luck, Gary.
Thank you.
So then, let's take you through the teams for this afternoon's contest, starting with the host and James Webster's side. As he told us, only the one change today, and that sees Frankie Holton move out of the team and Josh Hardcastle come in, who goes onto the bench. So Craig Hall is at full-back, it's Ben Blackmore and Thomas Mins on one side, Chris Wellham and Gareth Gale on the other. Tom Holmes, another chance for him to impress in the halves alongside New Brown. Junior Moore starts with Connor Jones at hooker, James Lockwood always also in the middle, and then it's Brett Ferris, Brad Day and Jack Bussey. On the bench, Hardcastle, Craig Kopchak, John Davis and Dean Perata. As for Whitehaven, they've got a number of men out of the team, including the likes of Shackley and Dion I. There's Greg McNally as well. They've got plenty of players missing today, have the Cumbrians, but they'll still come into it with plenty of hope, energy and optimism. They've got Lachlan Walmsley at fullback. He's a man to watch out for. He's impressed since his move to the club. James Worthington and Sean Croston on one edge. Jesse Joe Parker and Aaron Purewall on the other. It's Dixon and Williams in the halves. Riley, Roden, Zammit, Gillam, Holiday and Wilkinson. Then Newton, Kelly, Taylor and Graham on the bench. Take you through what's gone on already in this interesting Old Championship weekend. It's been round 3 of the competition. London got their season up and running with a 38-24 win over Oldham, and that about that for Bartley. They've had a fantastic start to the year. 48-16 against Widnes Vikings, a brilliant result for the Bulldogs there. And then there's plenty of action today. Only one game has taken place so far, and York, the last time we were there, I think it was just before full time, they were beating Swinton convincingly, 64 points to 16, like London, getting their season up and running after a shaky start. And as we're going on, we've got Halifax and Toulouse on, 3 o'clock kickoff. Then later today, Newcastle play Sheffield. Sheffield going great guns, aren't they, at the top of the league? And Bradford v Dewsbury, at Dewsbury, of course. Nice little kink to that game. So Pete, we're not too long away from kick-off here. It's we've been through it, haven't we? For Featherstone, this is very much a case of, and as James Webster I think said it best, it's a case of trying to get away from playing in dribs and drabs and spits and spats and playing for a longer period of time at their top level, because when they have played at the top level, they've been very, very good. As for Whitehaven, this is an opportunity to show to everyone that this preconception that they're going to be a relegation favourite, that they're going to be down at the bottom of the league, well, this is an opportunity for them to prove today that actually they can mix it up with the big guns of this competition.
Well, there's plenty of talent, let's not kid one another or kid anybody that's tuned in that, they have got plenty of talent within the Whitehaven outfit. For Featherstone, it's a case of, putting a performance together that's equal to the second half defensive showing that they're putting against Hull. And also then the attacking show that they put in against Swinton last week, in the first half. If they can do that and get the combination right for 80 minutes, then I think that Featherstone will maybe too strong for what looks a very, very light Whitehaven team, if you like, due to injuries, etc. But don't take nothing for granted, Matt. I think that the lads that Gary Charlton will have picked to play for Whitehaven today, they'll want to come and they'll want to put a marker down. It's early doors in the season. Few of the bigger known stars out injured, so stake a claim for a place while you can.
Absolutely. As for Featherstone, we talk about the squad depth. I sort of asked James Webster about it. You look at the players that aren't playing today, so you've got Dane Chisholm, you've got Frankie Holton. There are a lot more as well that aren't in this team. Brett Ferris has only just nicely come into the side. The squad depth that Webster has at his disposal this year is just incredible, really.
There is a lot of depth there, but there's also a lot of quality in that depth, and it must be a nightmare for any coach to pick his strongest team, his strongest 17 before any game. But for James Webster picking a Featherstone team, it's really, really, it must be a challenge non-stop, Matt. Who do you leave out? Who do you give a run to? Who do you think is in form? Who's that form dipped a little bit from? And there's a lot of players, and it's how you keep the squad happy as well, with the squad rotation. To me, it's a long season. It's going to be an hard season. So everybody will get their chance at some point. And again, it's up to the guys that get the nod to really, really put in a performance that cements their place in the team.
Do you think that's what makes this Featherstone squad stand out, along with Toulouse, because they have great depth? I look at some of the other teams across the Championship, and they have great 17-man squads. They have great 18-man, 19, but a lot of the contenders then fall away after that. There's not much after that. It seems to me that Featherstone and Toulouse, and there are a few others that I'd argue York have decent depth. I think Halifax would stake a claim to that as well, but Featherstone, that quality in depth, they seem to have that in abundance where other clubs maybe fall short.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head there, Matt, in what you've said, the quality in depth. And, without that quality, you can have as many players as you like, but you've got to look at it and you've got to get that blend right. You've got to have that experience. You've got to have a mixture of youth, of lads who want to play rugby and have got enthusiasm and are willing to go out there and give plenty of left-hand side in a full 80-minute performance. But then you also need the likes of Ferris and Lockwood to a certain extent, and John Davis, who's all been around the block and know the situation, so that they can use their influence for the league that we've got at this moment in time. Matt, we've already seen teams turn into loan players already, after 2 games, maybe 3 games within a season. So that again signifies that there is a need to bring in more players to each club, but with no second grade competition, it's hard how you keep them all happy.
Indeed, interesting, perplexing problem for many clubs. It's a little bit windy up here on the gantry. We're a bit annoyed, aren't we, Pete? Because when we did the interviews down pitch side in the corner, it was boiling. It was Costa del Fev, and up here it's more like a day in Blackpool, isn't it? It's really windy and a little bit cold as well. But we can't have everything. We've got a game of rugby league to watch. We are one of the very privileged few who get to be in the grounds, and we certainly don't take that for granted as the two teams come out onto the field. Not too long now until kick-off, as you can see. Featherstone in their traditional colours and Whitehaven wearing a grey and green number, which is unlike probably anything I've seen in rugby league for a while.
That the Whitehaven kit, it's very Avengers-like, isn't it? It looks as if it's come from something like out of a Marvel DC comic, does that Matt. And as you say, Featherstone, traditional blue and white, the butcher's stripes that are so famous and so synonymous with this club in its centenary year. Right, as you say, Matt, there is a bit of a wind blowing, obviously up in the gangtree position. I know when we were down at pitch side, Matt, and conditions, you certainly didn't notice the wind down there. But I'm just wondering if this heat is going to be sustainable, and how that's going to make conditions go over the 80 minutes, because it is a little bit sticky down there.
Yeah, well, we're just going to have a 13-second pause to show Rugby League stands against any form of discrimination, and then this game between Fev and Whitehaven will get underway. Haven, of course, as we've mentioned a few times, coming into this game off a good win over Newcastle, and as we heard James Webster say, he felt they actually played better in defeat against Dewsbury the game previous, so not a team to take lightly here. And I guess the challenge for Featherstone last week, and Pete, you'll be able to talk more in depth about this than me, but it looked like they started like a house on fire, so it's about emulating that in the opening 20 minutes.
It's about getting a good start here, Matt, as you rightly say, and Featherstone did. They threw everything within the first 20-25 minutes away last week at Swinton, and they've got to do a similar sort of thing here on their own midding. For Whitehaven, defence, and stop Featherstone's dominance, really. Stop Featherstone mounting any pressure. And it is Craig Orr that gets us underway, and he kicks that deep, and that will be collected by the Whitehaven players, and they will run up towards, well, just over their own 20-metre line, Matt.
Yep, so Haven tasked with coming forward, going up this slight slope here. That's Glenn Riley with the latest carry coming forward with the ball now is Riley. Next up, they move it to this right-hand side, just working their way through the middle at the minute. Haven doing what they can to make it towards halfway. Featherstone, Junior Moore's leading the charge there, getting a hit on. Featherstone defended in their own half. Whitehaven will be fairly settled with what they've done in this opening set. What can Williams do with the kick? Well, he gets the ball behind Ben Blackmore. All being said, it's a fairly good kick. The chase isn't bad either, and Whitehaven have pinned Featherstone in their own 20, and I think they'll be quite pleased with that opening set, Pete.
Yeah, I think they will, but quite interesting to see how the two wingers have dropped back here, Matt, although now Lachlan Walmsley for Whitehaven, the fullback, is actually getting back and covering back. But Featherstone, first touch of the ball, first time that they've got a chance to run at this Whitehaven line, and Junior Moores goes at it, and Junior Moores brushes three aside. He manages to offload to Connor Jones. Connor Jones throws a looping pass over there that finds Thomas Mims out on the wing, and Thomas Mims will go down the left-hand side. Great enterprise shown by Featherstone there, Matt.
Yeah, Junior Moores is a tough man to handle, isn't he? And he proved it there. They've rolled him a little bit in this set of Featherstone. There was a good carry before that, as Zamet was among the defenders trying to make the tackle, but Featherstone have had some joy here as they move it to this right-hand side. Here's Craig Hall with an early kick. Chase is on, led by Chris Wellham, but it's going to be a little bit too strong. That you'd think Craig Hall by now would know if you kick down into that corner, you've got to weight it precisely, and that was too heavy. Too much on that, and as you know, Matt, sometimes it depends on where you kick the ball, to the actual speed of the ball as well. And I think that he did. He just got too much on it, mate, and it ran into touch. Jesse Joe Parker, the ball's come loose, and the referee's given a knock on. That'll be first knock on called. An early mistake there from Jesse Joe Parker, who was clearly disappointed with himself there. He's ruined that mistake, and that has given Featherstone brilliant field position here to really do some damage early doors. They'll start 34 metres out. Jesse Joe Parker, obviously former Featherstone player as well, Matt. He's been at Featherstone. I think he's had a one-season spell here in the past. Thomas Mins goes down that left edge. He's just a metre or so in from touch as Holmes gives it on to Lockwood. The season campaigner now, isn't he, James Lockwood? Some player he's been for Featherstone Rovers over the years. 18 metres away. Here's Junior Moores at first receiver. It comes out to New Brown. Cuts out one. It goes out to Gale. I say it was for Gale. I'm not quite sure who Craig Hall was looking for there, whether it was for Wellham or for Gale. Either way, they both left it, and the chance goes begging, and Whitehaven will be very pleased with that.
Yeah, overcooked it there. You know, they've just overcooked it, Matt. You know, on the play, and this is something that we said in the you know, in the pre-match build-up, that, you know, keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. You know, and just relax into it. Take your time and don't rush it. But obviously, you know, trying to get early points on the board, and it's not happened for him.
So, coming away, here's Riley again. He's a big unit, Glenn Riley, isn't he?
Yeah, size and a half.
Featherstone know a lot about him. He's a handful. Here, it comes to the left-hand side. That's Ellis Gillam taking it over the 30. It's Roden at dummy half. And next carry comes in. That's a good contact there. There's some the Whitehaven contingent below us. They call for a penalty, won't get one, but the kick
bit
comes
of
away
afters
from
there,
Roden.
really, weren't they? You know, in the tackle.
Tell you what, it's a lovely kick. A lovely kick, that, from Aidan Roden. Look where Ben Blackmore picks that up. And the chase is good as well. I must say that Whitehaven's completed sets have been really good sets by them. As the ball comes loose, it'll be a penalty, though, because there were just about 2 men still in that tackle.
Well, that's great enterprising play there from Blackmore, you know. Picked it up on his own try line, ran fully 15 metres, and knew that the Whitehaven players were going to try and steal the ball off them. So, you know, have a bit of a tussle, and then he just relinquished it to him, knowing that they'll get the penalty.
Here's Ferris, England international, grand final winner. He's done a lot as Brett Ferris. He was, I remember rightly, named Player of the Series for England in the 2016 International Test Series against New Zealand. There's a bit more afters there, isn't there, between...
Yeah, there's a few handbags going in here, isn't there?
Lockwood and Gillam that time, wasn't there? As the ball comes loose from Junior Moores, it did go backwards, that.
Back to one, he's cleared the tackle count there, so Featherstone can feel a little bit lucky at that. But it's Lockwood again, and now they've spilled it.
Aidan Roden. That young man's having a blinder of a game so far. And Whitehaven really taking it to Featherstone early doors here.
Yeah, and if you look, Matt, Walmsley, the fullback, he's been in the thick of things so far, and you know, he's prompting and he's looking for work and he's eager. But they spill the ball, and I think it's Connor Jones that comes up with the ball for Featherstone. The referee's going to stop the play. But yeah, Whitehaven, as we said, showing plenty of enthusiasm from this youthful-looking Whitehaven team.
So it was all a bit erratic there, wasn't it, from both teams? But I tell you what, there's a fair bit of needle and niggle already, Pete, and if that's anything to go by, we might have some tasty action to get stuck into.
Yeah, people say, don't they, bring back the biff, but you know, let's see some rugby first. Let's have some quality, and then let's see what happens from there. But yeah, it's been a bit tasty from both teams at this moment.
Bussey, ball tipped on from Holmes to Ferris. Forward pass claims from below us. Not acknowledged by the referee. We'll say it was flat. It's with Holmes again, crabbing across the line. Now New Brown, he can cause some damage. It's Wellham going against the grain. He's put down 13 metres from the line. Jones with a scamper out of dummy half. Whitehaven maybe just switched off there. And here's Brett Ferris, and he'll be too big and too strong. And Featherstone have the lead. And it is Brett Ferris who opens the score, and it's 4-0.
Well, you look at that play, Matt, and you've got to take it back. You know, Holmes in there, prompting, probing, crabbing across the field, as you say, looking for his half-back partner, Brown. Then Brown off to Wellham. Now, when it first went to Wellham, I thought to myself, why is Wellham running there? Why not have somebody like Brad Day, a second rower, running in there? And then, obviously, you see what Featherstone are all about. They switch the play back to the left-hand side, and then, yes, they do bob up with the second rower, and the second rower being Ferris, and Ferris has managed to use his big, powerful frame and all his experience to crash over and open the score here for Featherstone. It's Featherstone 4, Whitehaven 0, with a kick to come. New Brown on the kicking duties, as he was last week.
Lining this one up, and credit, by the way, to Wellham, because what he did do was get a quick play of the ball away, and that meant that the Whitehaven defence was still retreating when Connor Jones jumped out of dummy half, and they never really recovered from that. And it's those little things that don't often get picked up that are really key in rugby league. So credit to Chris Wellham for his contribution there. So New Brown lines it up left-footed, hits it clean, but he's just pulled it a little bit wide of the post. So 4-0 it remains. We've played pretty much 8 minutes, and Brett Ferris has opened the scoring. We might have a slight delay here because the referee's just getting his technology dealt with. He looks to be okay and fixed up. So 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0 as you say, Matt, and rightly as you say, you know, going back to what you're saying, it's the little things in it that a team do that just opens up the line, and obviously we saw that with what Welham did to allow that quick play of the ball. Anyway, back underway, and it is Gaz Gale, that brings the ball down. That goes on the inside to captain James Lockwood. And Featherstone at this moment making steady yards, Matt.
Yeah, Bussey will come into play. Holmes steps off that right foot, and he comes, he's jinking, he's jiving, he's still going, he's ragged around a little bit in the end by Connor Holliday, who was just trying to get hold of him, but they've made good yards here of Featherstone early in the set. They're over halfway already. New Brown now takes a run at the line. He's just easing his way into things, isn't he? He had a fairly slow start, a low-key start in his opening games, but he's growing into the system, growing his confidence, I suppose, after a long time out with injury, don't forget. So, ball goes to Moore. He takes it deep into the line. Holmes shows and goes. It's beautiful from Tom Holmes.
Oh,
the pass is good too. And Connor Jones goes underneath the sticks for back-to-back tries. Put that one down to Tom Holmes. That was silky. It's 8-0.
Well, you know, let's talk about Tom Holmes, Matt. You know, he's finding his way back in. Obviously, had some horrendous injuries in his season. Felt that his career at Featherstone had been curtailed by that injury he picked up in the summer bash at Blackpool. But, you know, he's doing everything right at this moment in time. He's out there, he's organising, he's dictating play. And what a spot in the line, you know, to open the gap and just make sure that he was able to sail away. And you've got to say again, Matt, the support play there from Connor Jones. Connor Jones back on the inside, just making sure that he was able to, get a pass and get under the sticks to give New Brown an easy conversion attempt.
He should get his first conversion of the game here, New Brown, after missing the one previous. Still taking his time, going through the standard routine. Hits it clean. That'll hit a roof, I think.
Well, it's gone, that.
And we've lost the first ball.
Yeah.
After
I don't think we'll be getting the ball back anyway. Certainly that's gone. But just going back as well there, Matt, what I noticed was in the tackle in the approach play to that set of six, something to keep his eye on. New Brown, he seemed to take a bit of a knock, so that might be something just to watch and see how he goes.
So, Walmsley gets us back underway. Bit of confusion about who's going to go for that one. You don't let the ball bounce, and they have done, and they've got it back. I think it was Hall and Brad Day, wasn't it? Who just
no
hesitated
communication whatsoever.
So Whitehaven in position to strike now and get some direction in their attack there. 10 metres out. Featherstone, the first examination of their defence so far. That's a poor ball. Welham goes for it. It's going to be given as a forward potential. I didn't see a knock on. It must be given as a forward. That's poor from Whitehaven. That's an opportunity wasted.
Well, coach killers, aren't they? Sometimes, Matt, you know, you get in the position, you get the ball where you're hoping to press that little bit of an advantage, but unfortunately karma comes and robs you of that possession. But Featherstone will go again, and they'll come straight back through Gaz Gale, and he'll get to the 20-metre line.
Big fan of Gaz Gale, Pete. He must be potentially the best yardage winger in this competition.
Definitely. You know, and he's very deceptive. You know, a lot of people look at him and think, you know, he's a big gangly dangly winger, but he's as you say, he can't half go.
But there's another error. Jack Bussey, the culprit. So another chance to redeem themselves here, Whitehaven, after wasting that previous set in the Featherstone half. They're not picking the ball up quite as close to the line as they did the previous one, but nevertheless they should be able to get in a position to put a play on and ask some questions of Featherstone here. They come with Dixon, and here is Walmsley trying to get between two men. It's a good tackle in the end, 20 metres from the line. Gillam, the man who jumps in at dummy half. It's back with Dixon again, and here is Wilkinson. He's tackled 15 out. Roden is the man at dummy half. Impressed with him so far. They go down that right-hand side. Williams to the line. Little crash ball. It's good defence from Featherstone, but then again, it's taken 4 men to stop Whitehaven there. They were incredibly close to getting over the line.
Well, again, as you say, Matt, this Roden for Whitehaven, again, he's just finding his feet and he's just getting these big men charging onto this ball. As we see here again, Whitehaven going very close and Featherstone having to come in and defending numbers there. 3 men in the tackle, Matt.
Wilkinson that time. Here's Roden, stabs it through. It's going to be a chance, and I think Whitehaven have scored here. It was a speculative kick from that man Roden again, and they've pounced and got the try. And Whitehaven, well, they're back in the game.
Yeah, very much so. And what actually happened there, Matt? 2 Whitehaven players could have gone for the ball there to touchdown. One of them, Glenn Riley, but I don't think it was Glenn Riley that scored. And
it's Dixon, I believe.
Yeah, it is Dixon. Yeah, it is Dixon. So again, showing that they can be a danger. And Matt, if we go back, it all comes from that, if you like, that bit of miscommunication, doesn't it? That allowed Whitehaven to get the ball back initially. Then they spilled it, but then they got it back again. And as you see, 4 points on the board for Whitehaven. Well done.
So, opportunity for Walmsley to bring it back to a 4-point game. And it's been a quite lively opening 15 minutes here, must be said. Quite enjoyed it. Featherstone, it's a bit like what we've been saying in the previous games we've seen, Pete. Just some silly errors, unnecessary errors that you wouldn't expect.
No.
And when you play a team like Whitehaven or anyone in the Championship, if you give them too much ball, they will punish you. And Featherstone have again learned that lesson here.
Well, you can't win a game without scoring points, and you can't score points without the ball. You turn over the ball when you shouldn't be, and that's going to give the advantage to your opponents. Defensively, the defensive machine of Featherstone has worked well in the first 15 minutes or so, but they can't keep coming up with these errors in, if you like, close positions, close to their own line, that just give the opponent the advantage, Matt.
Dean Zammit with the first carry of the set. Here's Gillam, who's got through plenty of work. He's dominated in that tackle, it must be said. Brad Day, physical there. Next up, once again, is Wilkinson, who is another of those forwards who's getting through a fair amount of work so far. Here's Williams as the ball is tipped on. Good line speed there as Holiday is put to the floor by Tom Holmes before he was able to do anything with the ball, in truth. Now Riley, straight down the middle. Whitehaven just edging towards halfway. Simple but effective as the ball comes into Williams. Long kick. It might be, well, it looked like it was going to be a good kick, but Craig Hall showed a fair amount of acceleration there to get himself underneath that ball, and Minns will be the man who takes the carry. Featherstone will be happy with that. They start almost on the 40.
Yeah, changing personnel for Featherstone as well. Matt Hardcastle's come on and Ferris has gone off.
Early change.
And it's Hardcastle in possession.
Another local lad, isn't he, Josh Hardcastle? Remember him coming into the team, it's been 3 or 4 years back now, and was this amateur play making it, and he was scoring tries for fun, and it was a big thing at the time. It's great to see local lads do well at the local teams. Craig Hall into Chris Wellham, some early ball for him, who hands off Dixon like he wasn't there, and Dixon felt the after effects of the tackle, because he just got crumpled over by a few men. That's a good carry from Gareth Gale, who puts the bumpers up, gets it to New Brown. He tries to round Walmsley, still going. He's eventually just going to take the tackle. That maybe should have gone to. Well, and what about some of those carries though, Pete?
Well, Gareth Gale, again, what we're saying, such an elusive powerhouse that he is. You look at him and people think they're just going to be able to pin him down, but they can't.
Holmes with the kick over the top. Walmsley's dropped it. I think that'll be 2 knock-ons, but it'll be a repeat set all the same for Featherstone. It was a teasing kick from Holmes at Walmsley, not wanting to let that ball bounce. He did his utmost to get there, and he did get there, but it racketed off his chest. Full set for Featherstone. Just
rolling that back a little bit there, Matt. As you say, Gareth Gale broke. He managed to offload to New Brown. Should New Brown have let the ball go to Wellham? Did he hold it too long? I think he did, because the gap and the try line was there, but Featherstone still in possession.
Day will run it in himself. 3 men stop him, but he's managed to stay on his feet. He's pushing them away. Still no 6 agains in this game as Lockwood takes it for. It's a good tackle. Roden again up high. I've been really impressed with him, the hooker.
Yeah, he's been snappy at Lockwood, hasn't he? And he's not given Lockwood any peace, has he? Hardcastle very close to the line and pushed back there by 3 Whitehaven defenders.
This is a hard man to push backwards, but it's gone to Craig Hall. Oh, lovely tip on ball. It was given as forward. It was a no-look pass. It was silky from Craig Hall. Didn't quite land it. And I think obstruction's been given anyway. I love the audacity of Craig Hall there.
We've yet to see Brad Day. I mean, I know he had that terrible injury and he's come back and he's easing his way back into it. But if Brad Day hits form and starts coming onto the ball like he was, in previous seasons, Matt, then runs like that, I don't think he'll be knocking on too many, but I think he'll be posting plenty of tries. Looking at Whitehaven's defence again, yes, it's muscling up, it's getting on top of Featherstone a little bit and restricting the yards that they have.
Stepping and flowing a little bit, isn't it? When they came down this right edge, Featherstone, Willem and Gale both bumped off the men forcefully. But, they're not backing down, the Cumbrians. This is technically the second season in the Championship. They didn't play much last year, of course, but they've recruited and invested quite heavily in a lot of players from Australia just to give them a go and see how they get on. And like this man Walmsley, they've gone fairly well so far, but he looks to have taken a bit of a whack there.
He's been great so far as Walmsley. He can't take anything away. He's been in the thick of action and everything. He's got one for his troubles though, but Whitehaven will still go forward with Dixon.
Yep, so just taking it to a line himself. I'm not quite sure if Walmsley's getting if it's a HR, he's just got a bloodied nose maybe. Anyway, the kick comes through and just drilled into the corner. Don't think Whitehaven will mind that. Nice kick from Williams. Featherstone will start 10 metres off their own line. It does look to me like Walmsley's got a bust nose.
It's a good finish to that set. It's a good finish to that set, isn't it? When you think about it. And if Whitehaven now can defend here and force Featherstone to come up with an error, then it swings the advantage back to them. But nice little kick and good to see Walmsley back, and he seems to be all right in back play.
Another sub for Featherstone. And Craig Kopschak's on for Junior Moores. Nice, decent first stint from Moores in 20-21 minutes. Lockwood with the carry. Featherstone now. They like doing the fancy stuff, but they don't mind doing the tough stuff when they need to do it, as is the case here, coming out of their own yardage. That's again another good quick play of the ball from Kopschak, and Jones will feed off them every single time. Just makes easy meters for his team. He's Jack Bussey, who must be one of the biggest ever people to jump in at dummy half there. He takes it over the 40. Last tackle for Fev then, and Holmes just hoists this one high. A tester for Walmsley. The wind is swirling. He didn't quite get his bearings right. He did really well, in complete truth, Walmsley, to adjust himself, because he'd not read that well at all, and he actually managed to evade a few men as well. So he's done well in the end, the fullback.
Well, that's a great take by Walmsley at fullback there. He managed to completely do a pirouette before taking the ball. But Featherstone now really do need to find something here to keep Whitehaven at bay. But Whitehaven just coming forward slowly but surely, and certainly looking more enthused in attack at this moment in time, Matt, I'd say.
Ethan Kelly's just come on for Dean Zammit. Whitehaven's making the most of their bench, and they've made it to the 40 in their set. Kick comes away from Williams, that's out on the full. He's got his bearings wrong there. There's Nickal Williams, and that means that Featherstone are going to start 40 off the Whitehaven line. They'll be keen to put some points on here, Pete, because when all's said and done, you'd argue they've been the better team, but they're only 4 points ahead. Whitehaven have really done well to stick in this contest, took their opportunity when it came, and on the scoreline, it's certainly very, very tight at the minute.
Well, 23 minutes of the first half. It's now time for Featherstone to start getting a bit of momentum and a bit of fluidity in the play. A high tackle comes in there, and Featherstone will be awarded the penalty. So again, this gives them a little bit of a further advantage, Matt, to move down the field. And it's a case that now they need to start connecting a little bit, getting these passes right, but not trying to force it, Matt. Just take your time. Let's build up the play, and let's see what we can happen. But Whitehaven, for all intents and purposes, they're reading it quite well. They're knowing where to pick Featherstone off in the tackle, and it's making for a good first half, Matt.
Jones, he put a man down and the ball comes loose. Kelly was the man who was pressurising him. And again, it's frustrating, isn't it, Pete, from a Featherstone perspective, because we've seen this too often in the early games, in field position, with a chance to put points on the board, and they just lose the ball with a really basic handling error.
It's basic errors, and like we said, Matt, I don't know how many times we'll probably say it across this game, but basic errors like that, they're going to cost you the game, and you've got to try and get on top of them, and you've got to cut them out. Otherwise, it's full advantage to your opponents.
Next carry comes in. Wilkinson again. He's got through a ton of work early doors in this contest. Come to this left-hand side, and Dixon takes it to the line himself, just try to catch maybe a defender lacking in concentration. We're going to see another substitution with Guy Graham coming on for Glenn Riley. Now Gillam throws the early pass to Parker, and they're going down that left-hand side with Purewell. Is he going to stay in the field of play? No, he's not. Chris Wellham dominant in that tackle. He's been dominant in practically everything he's done so far, Chris Wellham. Well, he's smashed him out of play.
Yeah, Purewell is really got some pace on him, and you do need to cut him down and not give him any advantage whatsoever. And coming up against a very experienced player in Chris Wellham is, he's going to be tested today, and is Wellham going to be able to cope with him if he does get that extra yard? But so far, Wellham's had him in his pocket as Gaz Gale takes it forward for Featherstone again.
Featherstone then with the opportunity to try and apply some pressure. Kopchak with the carry. He's got his arm through there. It's a good carry from Craig Kopchak. His first season outside of Super League, which tells you everything you need to know about his career. He's had a fine stint and still going strong here in Featherstone colours. Brad Daly's one in his wake, who has felt the effects of that. It was Roden. He got a bit of a whack there. Did the hooker Holmes deep into line? It's a good ball to New Brown. Is that a chip? I didn't think it was a trip. In truth, Pete, I thought Dixon made a genuine play to make that tackle, and he, as Lockwood tries to get through a little chink in the grey and green armour. Last tackle then, and Jones will go to the left. It's Kopchak, now Holmes. They look good down this left. It goes to Blackmore, but he's going to be tied up. It's good sliding defence from the Cumbrians, who were still only 4 points behind Featherstone here. Well,
you saw how quick there Featherstone moved the ball, and they went from right to left, if you like, Matt, very, very quickly and very, very dangerously. And it has worked for him before in the past when they managed to get the ball out to Blackmore. He's a big old unit over on that far stand side, but unfortunately on this occasion Whitehaven's defence measured up to Featherstone's attack again, and as you see, Whitehaven again, they've certainly got more enthusiasm and certainly look more lively, Matt, as they're growing in confidence with this one.
This wind is swirling up here. It hasn't affected the players as much. My team sheet, I'm having to hold on to it tight, or we'll be losing that. Oh, big hit, Jack Bussey. Welcome to Featherstone, Ethan Kelly. He will have felt that one, but credit to him. Straight up, big deep breath, and cracks on. But that was a big hit from Bussey. Gale brings it away.
I don't know who's come off worse there, in all fairness, Matt. Kelly or Bussey, because Kelly still looks a bit rattled, and Bussey's not got back in defensive line yet.
Oh, he's lumbering back into position, isn't he, Jack Bussey? It was a collision between two big men. Let's say that. Wellham comes away, swats off another. He's been really good, hasn't he, Chris Wellham? Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, it's would have been one of the well, it has. It's been his best performance I've seen
he's
so
lost
far.
The ball. I've cursed him. I'm sorry, Chris Wellham. My deepest apologies. You've just been struck with the commentator's curse.
As we were saying, it's up to that point, Matt. He's certainly been one of his best performances I've seen him so far in a Featherstone shirt. But again, a small error that shouldn't really happen that gives Whitehaven now a bit of luck, and they need to go forward now and see and really ask questions now of this Featherstone unit.
He looked to redeem himself there as he shot out at Jesse Joe Parker, but he stepped out of his way. He's still taking a bit of an injury there. Jesse Joe.
It's interesting how Williams is coming more into it as well now, Matt. He's certainly you know, looking to find players to pick out of the line and get people to run off him. He's there again.
Headway here with Newton at dummy half. He's just come onto the field looking to get the offload away and has done. And here they go, Newton scampering forward. They're only 15 metres out here, Whitehaven. Wormsley, and they've got a bit of a roll on as they look to shift it. A bit of a pirouette there from Wilkinson. Last tackle then. So Whitehaven, last time they were up here, they scored. Can they do it once again? That was a bit unorthodox there. It stabbed through from Wilkinson, probably the last man I expected to kick the ball. And, well, effective in the sense that Featherstone collected it a metre off their own line, but they wanted to try to do a little bit more there, I think, Pete.
Yeah. Well, again, a quick play of the ball there. 2 quick plays of the ball, and that's going to see Wellham, and he's going away, and he's managed to get over his own 30-metre line as John Davis comes on for Featherstone. And Mims
comes on. Oh, that looked a tough collision. Mins just fell into the knees of Wilkinson, didn't he? I'm surprised he's got up, as Davis has a good, strong first involvement from him. They've made 60 metres off this set of Featherstone. They'll be pleased with that. What can they do to end it? It's a charge down from Gillam, who goes for the ball. And it's going to be 6 again. It's one of those plays, isn't it? High risk, potentially high reward. Not on this occasion, though, for Whitehaven.
Well, that just shows the threat that Whitehaven can have. You know, they're certainly not afraid to get stuck in and try and stop Featherstone getting up any head of steam. But again, Wellham comes to the fore. His experience, his knowledge, just settles the team down, and that's allowed Featherstone again to mount another attack that takes us down with the play and the ball deep into the Whitehaven half.
Just thought Craig Hall gave that ball a little bit too early to Ben Blackmore, but Bussey on a rampant run now. Can he power forward? He's over the line, and I'm pretty sure he's got that down. It's a fine solo effort from big man Jack Bussey, who's running away from all his teammates, so he doesn't get a fine for over-celebrating. He likes his money, he likes his try bonus, he doesn't want that taken away from him after that effort. Brilliant individual piece of skill from Jack Bussey. Featherstone are 14-6 ahead.
Well, Jack Bussey, trainee fireman, from what I'm led to believe, Matt, and he certainly was quick to put out the Whitehaven fire there as he crossed, wasn't he? And he was having none of it from the distance that he was out. But again, quick play of the ball, quick from the ruck area, quick ruck speed, and it's good to see when it happens and it clicks for Featherstone. They've just got to try and put it all together, really, Matt, and it could spell a great deal of more points in this the remainder of this half and into the second half. Not taking anything away from Whitehaven, they've given a good performance so far. They've been certainly enthused, and they've certainly wanted to mix it wherever they can with Featherstone. But if Featherstone do what they normally do and open up this thing where they have a spell where they just seem to blow teams away with the scoring, it could turn into a bit of a hiding for Whitehaven.
Brown converts, 16-6. And Featherstone will just be a little bit more comfortable having extended that scoreline out ever so slightly. Whitehaven won't feel like they're out of this by any means. Let's not forget they are playing up the slope, which many coaches will say it's not actually any more difficult because you have to defend running up the hill. But there is that mental thing, isn't there, that players do. Certainly, certain players think it is easier to play down the hill.
Well, if anything, Matt, you know, Whitehaven take great heart because for 20 minutes they have kept Featherstone at bay, and they also came up with their own try. But like I say, you know, 8 minutes left, and Featherstone back in possession. Davis will go back, and he'll just run and run and run and run like he always does. He's like a little steam engine, isn't he, when he gets going.
Penalty for offside. Still a little bit too eager there, Haven, and that will allow Tom Holmes to hammer this ball downfield. That is certainly not what Whitehaven needed then. It's a good kick from Tom Holmes. Let's kick that forward about 30 metres.
Yeah, well, Featherstone will restart on their 40-metre line of Whitehaven, and it goes to Mims, to Hardcastle. Hardcastle will go forward. He'll take him just up to the 30. So Whitehaven are really going to have to be on the front foot here now, Matt.
Got about 7 minutes to play here as we closing on half-time. Now, Featherstone did score back-to-back earlier in the game. Can they go back-to-back again? It would fall in line with how Featherstone have been this season, playing in fits and spurts. Let's see what they do with the ball here. Holmes again, lively, into New Brown, who comes in that left-hand side. It's early to Thomas Means. He's run forcefully. He's over the line, but he's held up. Good defence again from Whitehaven.
Yeah, and that's the play that we've been mentioning, Matt. You know, a couple of in a couple of the attacks that Featherstone have had, how they switch the play and they suddenly take it from right to left and spread it right across the park, looking for either Mims or Hardcastle over on that far stand side. But they'll go again through Davis.
Here he comes. Last tackle now then for Featherstone. They're loading down the right, but it's gone down the left. What will they come up with? Hardcastle jinx jive steps as he got over. He's not. And it's another penalty for obstruction.
Well, again, an error, Matt, when really they should be celebrating the try rather than turning over possession. You know, they could have had another 4 points there. But all credit to Whitehaven. You know, they've stuck at the task and they'll come again at Featherstone.
Looking to creep forward and it's a nice strong carry there from Croston. Takes it over the 34 Haven. Forward they come once again. 3 men in there for Rovers this time. Move to the middle unit once more, tasked with bringing the ball forward. This time, a bit of a juggle there from Guy Graham, but he just about managed to keep hold of it. Kelly up next. Haven is creeping upfield now. Go for an early kick with Williams. I thought at one point that was looking like another out on the full, but it just killed it in. Hall takes it forward one-handed, just floats and glides when he's got the ball in hand, doesn't he, Craig? Yeah,
he does. He glides, doesn't he? He's great to watch when he brings the ball forward. But yeah, going back to the kick from Williams, he did manage to keep it in the field of play, which is just what Whitehaven needed, because that allowed him then to set the defensive line and not allow Featherstone to get any momentum going. But they do bring it forward through Brad Day and Wellham again around that little ruck area, and Wellham looking to make some very quick yards. But the defensive effort of Whitehaven again to the format.
What's going on the floor there? That was all a little bit messy. 6 again given. I thought there were a little bit of afters there of some sort, so I don't quite know what was going on.
Yeah, Wellham and Wellham, you know, do you think they were asking one another what aftershave they're wearing? Because they were certainly that close to one another, weren't they?
Yeah, indeed. Fev over Whitehaven's 40 now. Bussey, scorer of the last try, gives it to New Brown. Fakes the pass, he let go of the ball and picked it up again. That's a silky skill. Holmes, darts, jinx, wants a man to come on his inside. Mins obliges. He's tackled 25 metres out. He tries to buy a 6 again. Referee's having none of it as Kopchak slips there. Rambling down the hill. And we'll go to the left now. Or will they? Because Brown has stepped and stepped again and waiting for an offload. And can Connor Jones get himself free of Lachlan Walmsley's grasp? Not quite. Last tackle for Rovers. It will go to Brown. They look a little bit short here, Haven. Holmes, tip onto Wellham. Wellham flings it to Gale. And Gale, though he does score, the referee, the tease, he waited and waited and waited to give the call. And he waited until Gale had breached the try line and then gave the penalty. And to make matters worse for Featherstone, they've now been pinged for dissent.
Well, Wellham there certainly had a lot to say to the referee, and the referee's just stopped the clock here. Well, one or two Whitehaven players have a bit of running repairs, but yeah, Wellham certainly had a lot to say there. And if you look at the play, Brown again to the fore. You know, he's certainly coming more and more into this, and he's certainly finding his place. You know, he's looking, he's selling little dummies, he's using that little shimmy that he's got that's so deceptive, and it's interesting, Matt, interesting. But I still feel that you know, Featherstone should be maybe 2 or 3 more tries ahead than what they are. So you know, as we head towards the half time, I think Whitehaven can go into the sheds, Matt, feeling a little bit more pleased with the performance than Featherstone.
Yep, they've defended valiantly of Whitehaven, and they've all stepped up, haven't they? They've, as we expected, plenty of endeavour and effort and spirit in this team, and a little bit of class too, as Dixon spots a gap, goes for halfway, and the Newton always looks lively and looking to get out of dummy half, does so there. That's another 10 metres made, with Kelly eventually the one taking the tackle. And they'll move it now with Williams giving the crash ball. It's a good tackle down low from Tom Holmes. Not long to go now in this first half, about 3 minutes left. Williams goes for the reverse kick. Wormsley is chasing. Brown collects it. Wormsley ended up on the floor. I'm not quite sure what did happen there, but Gale has the ball in hand and will bring it away. And Featherstone, they go over the 20. And will probably end the half 10 ahead, Pete.
Well, the call from the Whitehaven bench is to keep the Featherstone team here and have a big defensive finish from Whitehaven as the clock runs down on this first half. So far, Featherstone, though, managing to keep possession and managing to find a little bit of forward momentum there through Josh Hardcastle, and the ball now in the hands of Craig Kopchak, Welsh international, former Welsh captain, and he'll just go one way, and that way is forward.
Over halfway. And just waits and looks at the ref. Come on then, let me get up. Davis, late feet there to try and evade a man.
Do you think, Matt, that so far it's, Featherstone, they've not got the linkage right, have they?
Oh, they have done there. They had done, but it was given forward again.
Well, that would have been a player's curse on me, wouldn't it? If they'd have scored that try there, I'd have hung my head in shame. I would have hung my head in shame. But just going back to what we're saying, Matt, to quantify it, it's been very, very one-manish rugby, hasn't it? There's been no real connectivity there. But we did see on that occasion just how when it does click, they could open up this Whitehaven line quite easily.
I think in large part, credit goes to Whitehaven, because the way that they've got across their own line has been really impressive. When the ball has gone to the edges, they've numbered up. They've got everyone in position, and they've looked a bit more fragile for me, Whitehaven. When Whitehaven have gone against the grain and gone back the other way, we saw Tom Holmes, he stepped through. We saw Jack Bussey step through. Neil Brown caused an issue when he stepped the other way. I think the first try, Chris Wellham, he went against the grain and took him the other way. That for me is when Featherstone have had more joy. But when they've gone quick and wide, Whitehaven have really, really handled it well. I've been impressed with them. Featherstone a little bit disjointed, not quite as fluid as they would want to be. But all being said, I think it's been a good first half performance from Whitehaven, and they'll be relatively happy being 10 points down, going down the hill in the second half.
Well, they will come down the slope, Matt, as you say, in the second half. But it'll be interesting now just to see what sort of response James Webster can get from his Featherstone Chargers. On form, before coming into this, before the game kicked off, I think that if you looked at what everybody was saying, everybody up and around the league was saying that Featherstone, on a fast, dry track, should be able to run some points in today and get some big points on the board. But so far, Matt, that's not happened. Now, why has it not happened? They've come up with plays, spilt balls. And again, Matt, it goes back to what we said right in the beginning of the pre-match build-up. Sometimes you don't need to overcook it. Keep it simple, keep it tight, and play the game as a nice steady pace, Matt. And then you'll find that once you've got that settled, and once you've got that toehold, if you like, then you can put on the moves, then you can start trying things out. But so far it just seems a little bit disjointed, a little bit rushed, and I'm not having to go, there may be one or two Featherstone fans that's watching this thinking, it's been a great performance from us. We lead 16-6 on the scoreboard. Yeah, 16 points to 6 on the scoreboard, but in fairness, that should be more, Matt. It should be more. There's 3 chances that they've spurned through errors. All right, I know they've had a couple of forward passes and stuff like that, but all credit to Whitehaven. They've gone toe for toe, and it'll be an interesting second half, Matt.
Yep, plenty to come. Let's take you through some of the highlights of the first half. This was the opening try. Chris Wellham, as we said, going against the grain. That allows Connor Jones to get out. And when you give the ball that close to line to Brett Ferris, the likelihood is a try, and that was the outcome there. The second try, this is all about Tom Holmes. Gets the ball here, straight through the middle. Lovely support play. Great try, that one. Featherstone showing what they are capable of right there. So 16-6 at the break. Let's have a little bit of a break our end, but we've got plenty of rugby league to look forward to coming up. England and the World Cup is one of the things we're looking forward to. There's much more of that. Let's show you some of the things that we've all got to look forward to.
It has taken 10 months to get here, but Super League has reached its finale. Oh, he's hit the post. The chasers are on. The ball is decided. It's Wellesby. A surreal season has reached the conclusion.
Going for the corner. Well, that could be a sensational try. They could be in, they are in. Great run from Campbell. Can he get it down?
And Anthony Gallagher score! What a chance! They still have a chance! Oh, yes, he can!
Teaser backs the pace and will score! Going for the line, reaches out, ball on the line, spots the gap, they're going for it! The cup winners, the double winners, the Leeds Rhinos!
That is one sensational try! He's went over for a try! He's going for a try! It's the try!
Burrow, off he goes.
A tremendous try!
It is one of the great Wembley tries.
It is the Challenge Cup final.
And it's going to be Ash Handley.
A kick to the corner. This is a chase, and that's a brilliant take. Superb for Frank Goldthorpe.
And we're off. Just popped up in the hole.
Here is an unforgettable moment for this group of Leeds players. Maybe this is a new golden generation.
Yeah, it's a great day. It was really intense, but it was good to get around the boys again, get around the coaching staff and meeting Sean for the first time in person. We've had a lot of Zooms, but yeah, it was a great session.
No, it was great. Great to meet some of the lads, new faces as well, I've not met before. So, first in the session, we've obviously done a lot on the Zoom, and the Zoom meetings, a lot of video online. So it was actually great to meet everyone today and get some quality work done on the field.
Yeah, really good. It was really good to get together, and it's always nice to put on an England, even if it's just a training shirt. Good to get together and obviously meet Sean as the head coach and kind of learn his philosophies and what he wants to do with us. And it was pretty basic session, but really enjoyable. And I feel like I've got a lot out of it, and learnt new things off a new person, which is always good. Sean as the head coach has had so much success. And just got a little snippet into it today, and it was a really enjoyable session.
A good first get together. It's the first time I've been involved in one, and I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, seeing a different coach's points of view in a game and stuff like that, and how they go about stuff. Yeah, it's good, and it's something that I'll be looking to step back to my club. Everything we worked on today is something that I need to add to my game if I want to be in there at the end of the year. So yeah, still a lot to learn, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, massively. The coaches have made it clear what they expect for us individually and as a team from day one. And that was, just transferred straight to the field there, and that was a fantastic session, and it was super sharp, as it always is when you're training at international level, and good signs early on.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're training with the best in Super League as well, it's good, and it ups your levels. You have to up your levels, but it's good to like I said, the training with quality, and it's no surprise because the players are top quality as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. You turn up and you just know straight away. You're at England, and everything's high quality. you know, everything gets looked at. No small detail gets missed. Oh, it's you know, it's good. It's eye-opening sometimes, you know, to get a coach to look at the small details that you might miss sometimes. And yeah, this morning, all the small details, you know, got picked up on. So as a player, it's great because, you know, it helps you to improve and be a better player, you know, next day.
Yeah, first class, you know, super impressive coaching staff, obviously full of ex-internationals as well, which helps, and obviously their experience will help us as we go on to the World Cup as we go through the season. So, you know, high expectation, but high quality. I think we delivered that today.
Actually, in real life, us speaking to each other in real life, yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, it seems a bit like weird that we're actually speaking to each other, which is crazy. But no, really enjoyable. You know, got a lot out of the day, and it's going to hold us in good stead, I'd say.
If the dream comes true, you know. If the dream comes true, you know, and fortune favours the club, and they get into Super League, how are you going to feel running out at Post Office Road in your Wigan kit, playing against Featherstone in Super League?
I don't know. If you give me marquee money, I'll come back to Featherstone.
You listening, Mark? Is Mr. Campbell on the line?
Really strange. When the Challenge Cup got drew, I was hoping we'd get Featherstone just because I've not been down there for a long time. I've not played on that pitch, and you know it'd be great. You know, I've definitely got aspirations to be back at the club at some point. I don't want to be one of those 37-year-olds that have only got one leg that works, and I've just come down for a swan song. I want to come down to the club, and I want to achieve something. I want to play well. So I've made no secret about that. You know, I'm nearly 30, so I don't know when. But you know, I there's nothing more than I'd love than Featherstone to get promoted, whether I'm playing Featherstone or not. I'd love to see them be in the Super League. You know, the fans will get straight back on the terraces. It's great. You know, I've got fond memories of the fans just stood on top of the roofs of the buildings, which obviously health and safety is not great, but I absolutely love that. And on the flip side, the abuse that they give to the opposition fans, it's probably they give it to me a lot, but on the flip side, I love that. You know, I'm from Pontefract. I'm from a small town community. Like I said, I've been at Featherstone for a number of years, and I really respect the fans and how passionate they are about the club. So, yeah, like I say, I'd love. It'd be really weird, but you know, I'd love to play against Featherstone, and then one day, hopefully, I can pull that jersey on again and represent Featherstone Rovers.
18-6.
Hello, welcome back to Millennium Stadium. Second half coverage to come in the coming minutes. Featherstone just getting ready to come back out. There is one other game going on at the minute in the Championship. Latest score, I'm sure some Featherstone fans will be pleased to hear this one, Pete. It's Halifax 10, Toulouse 34 at half-time. Toulouse were 34-0 up after 34 minutes.
So Fax making a bit of a fight of it, Matt.
Well, I don't think if you're 24 down at half-time, you're making much of a fight of it, are you?
No, but you know, to come back against you know, Toulouse after being you know, on the if you like, on the nil side, at least you're putting up a bit of a fight, aren't you?
I suppose. Credit where credit's due.
That's it. Don't be so down.
No, credit where credit is due. But well, Toulouse certainly have looked good, haven't they? They've only played 2 games, but they look very good against York. And while we've not seen it, they must be doing something right to establish a lead like that at half-time. Anyway, all eyes on this game now as Whitehaven get ready. And I tell you what, Pete, when all said and done, we spoke just before half-time about some of the chances that Featherstone have missed, maybe not being as clinical as they need to be, so on and so forth. Whitehaven will be coming out, and I'm sure the message is, we're in this game, we've got a chance here.
Well, if I were Whitehaven now, you know, or the Whitehaven coach, I'd be looking at, I'd be saying to the boys, listen, you know, let's keep it tight, let's control the possession as we play down this slope, and, you know, let's take us chances when the opportunities are there. Don't rush it, don't force it. And the same goes for Featherstone as well. But to me now, I think that there's certainly more pressure on Featherstone at the opening stages of the second half, Matt, for, you know, for them to come up with something now.
Yeah, as Featherstone, they head up this slope and get the second half underway. Kopchak with the latest carry. As Hawes drops the ball. What were we saying, Pete? Silly errors, but so on and so forth. First set, you can see from Junior Moore's reaction, I'm sure the message from James Webster is, please stop making errors. And there we are. First one, seconds in.
Well, I think, Matt, you know, looking at the at what's to come off the subs bench and stuff like that, for Featherstone, I'd like to see the introduction of Parata now, you know, because the one thing that Parata will give Featherstone is some go forward, and he'll give them some go forward in the, you know, around the ruck area, and he'll also look for to get his pack moving as well, which so far Featherstone just seem a little bit flat, you know, not, as we say, able to do.
Oh, nice play as Worthington goes for the corner. You know what? I'd like to see a replay of this. The try's been awarded. I must say, Pete, I don't know if we've got a replay of that. It looked to me like Worthington's legs might have gone out as he was grounding that ball. It was great play down that right edge. Beautiful blindside attack. They caught Featherstone napping the right back in this game. Let's just have a watch here.
It'd be interesting to see.
So it goes to the... Oh no, I think he's just about in. It's very, very tight. Just about in.
Well, we're talking 2 blades of grass there, Matt, I think.
Yeah, the angle we looked at, it just looked... We've got a slight blocked view, but fair play to the linesman, the touch judge, because he's got it bang on. That was very, very tight in the end. What a ball that is into that right corner. Just about gets it down before that right ankle goes out. Good finish in the end from Worthington. Look, game on here, Pete. Let's not get away from it. Whitehaven, they've taken the chances when they've come. They've been clinical. That was a great move down that blind side. They chanced their arm, and they've come up with some points. And there's only 6 in it with the kick to come.
Well, it goes back to exactly what we were saying, Matt. You know, just as the second half kicked off, that you know, if you were the Whitehaven coach, you know what you'd have said to your squad. You know, is bide your time, take your chances when they come, and you know, we're not out of it, and that's just shown there. And again, you know, it comes from the back of a knock on from Featherstone, really, doesn't it? You know, and Junior Moore's that knocked on that certainly gave a bit of an advantage back to Whitehaven, but at 16-10, you know, it's game on, isn't it? Certainly, game on.
Absolutely. Well, Hall will get us underway. What a start for Haven that is then. And for Featherstone, it's what not to do. What not to do. Another cheap error, and they have to learn that they will be punished if they keep coming up with them. Next up, come Haven, just edging the way downfield. Only one score in this now. Walmsley did miss the conversion, as you saw. Wasn't a bad effort from the touchline. Wind just held it up a little bit. Newton waits at dummy half, strides out, kicks it away left-footed, early kick. It'll roll down that hill. It's a good kick. Look at the chase from Purewall. He's really got in the face of Hall. He manages to make his way forward, and in the end, Hardcastle, he's done really well. He takes it over the 20. It's a good kick return in the end.
Well, that again just shows you the pace of Purewell, really. You know, he's certainly motored there not to give or not to lose any advantage that Featherstone could have.
Gale with that carry comes to Bussey, scorer of one of Featherstone's 3 tries. Still going, struggled to put him on the floor there. Do in the end, he's done well to keep hold of that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Bussey, because his arm went away and he was put to the ground fairly forced. So that's a good tackle on Kopchak. Couple involved there, including Graham. Newton involved too. Next up, Brad Day, who's had his head bandage redone for the second half. Last tackle for Fev. They're over the Whitehaven 40. Brown will spin it to Holmes. Holmes to Moores. Cut out ball to Hardcastle. He taps it back in. It's an awkward one for Walmsley. Takes it in the end and gets away. Again, it was another awkward kick for him, wasn't it? But once he got hold of it, he made some metres upfield. And here's Purewall again coming forward. Featherstone just trying to slow it down now.
He's not of a big building to Purewall, but like we say, he's got that step and he's certainly got some pace. But you know, was that a key point there, Matt, in this fixture? You know that for Featherstone to go and the way that they finished that set with that little kick, giving possession back to Whitehaven. You know, would they have been better going high? Would they have been better asking questions of this Whitehaven team?
Here. Oh, lovely offload to Walmsley, who's got away. He's got away. He's darting forward. He needs some support. Hall comes across. Takes. Oh, what a hit, Gareth Gale. That's a punishment for breaking the line. My goodness, what a shot. And Walmsley's felt that to full effect. I'm not sure if there was a head clash in there, but what a break. All came off a great Kelly offload. And Walmsley's quick. He got through, and it was a dangerous moment, that, for Featherstone.
Well, that was like running into a brick wall. And all credit to Gareth Gale there. You know, the way that he moved across and just picked out Walmsley. But it goes back to what we were saying as well, Matt. You know, we highlighted Lachlan Walmsley as one of Haven's danger players. And it just shows there just what a danger he can be from that bloke and play. But look at now, again, advantage to Whitehaven. You know, they sit around about 11 metres away from the Featherstone try line. And if Whitehaven score here, that's really, really going to give them a boost. And they're really, really, really going to want to take on Featherstone. Featherstone have got to defend now here and show just what their defensive unit is all about. If they're, if they're going to repel this Whitehaven attack, and as we see now, I think Walmsley's coming off for the head check, which is kind of like standard now. He's not happy about that because he'd rather be out there playing, Matt.
He doesn't think that he should be coming off here to get assessed. He says he's all right. He's not happy whatsoever, and that's a blow for Whitehaven, by the way. That's
yeah. Well, he's been to the fore for a Manta.
Yeah. So ball goes to the left-hand side. Power play. If they forgot about the tackle count, maybe Whitehaven. I'm not too sure. That's held up. They didn't put much on then. But that said, look where Featherstone start after trail up a hill, and they start a metre off their own line. It's not the worst place to end a set for Whitehaven.
No, it's there's no better place really, is there, to end the set other than scoring a try. But again, Featherstone have got all the work to do now, and as you can see, the Whitehaven defensive unit, 4 players in there to push well and back closer to his own try line and not allow Featherstone to get any momentum here. And again, you know, Whitehaven's defence is working tirelessly, Matt.
Was another great carry from Gareth Gale as Bussey gets the offload away. Jones is lively in this broken play area. He makes some extra metres. They've done a good job of getting out of their own yardage here of Featherstone. Now they'll shift it to the edge, and Moores. What a unit to try and put down from back row. I always felt at Castleford when he had his best years, he played in the back row. Junior Moores. Hardcastle, good carry, takes it over halfway. It's been a really good set that from Featherstone. Under pressure, they've done so well to get it to halfway. And Holmes, well, it's not the deepest of kicks. I think it's going out on the full. Oh, it bounces straight out. Tom Holmes has kicked that forward approximately 3 metres.
Yeah, and then the bounce, and I think that's actually taken another 3 metres forward as well. So Whitehaven get a bit of a 6 metre advantage from that kick. But going back to what we were saying there, it's just a little bit rushed again from Featherstone, and they really do need to find something that's going to settle them down here, Matt, because for all intents and purposes, while they keep doing that, they're keeping Whitehaven in it. And is that an error there? That's from yeah, Schoolboy, or he never played it, did he?
No, Guy Graham, and he knows as well. Hand up to apologise straight away. Like that though, a number of his teammates not annoyed with him, going up to him and giving him a high five, saying don't worry about it, let's get back on it now.
It's a mistake that Whitehaven could have done without, that does see possession go back to Kopchak, and Kopchak will go forward. And as he lost that, now
it was an attempted ball steal from Newton. I don't think he quite got it. He was trying to get something out of it. And then there's a knock on Chris Wellham. And here they go, Purewall down the left, he's going for it, he's backed himself, the kick and chase is on, who will get there? Hall has some work to do, he picks it up, he's done really well in the end. A bit frantic, there's obviously no free play now, so Featherstone do come away, but they'll have to start on their own 10 again, Pete.
Yeah, it was Gareth Gale that managed to show the turn of purse there and get back. I'm just looking at this Featherstone backline as well, and I think Thomas Mims has certainly pulled something there, Matt, trying to get back in defence as well. But it is Featherstone that will come up the slope. It is Bussey. Bussey will use that big frame to hustle and bustle forward. He'll allow the Whitehaven defenders to knock him down to the ground. And quick yards there from the ruck area. Sees Connor go forward, and now it'll be Davis, and it's all Featherstone now in attack, Matt.
You're just watching. It's not the greatest of kicks there, and Purewall will bring it back. Means just watching him, he looked like he was holding his glute maybe there. Purewall is going to be dragged out of play. That's really good defence from Featherstone Rovers. That's a big play. I'm not sure what Purewall was really trying there. He feigned like he was going to go for a kick over the top again, and then it was a bit of a half-hearted carry, and you can't do that when you're out there, because if you get dominated, you get pushed out.
Well, he's not got, like we said, Matt, he's not got much size on him, has he? You know what I mean? But what he has got is that pace, and I think that's a bit what you call a little bit of payback, if anything, from the Rovers defensive unit. As Moore trundles it forward, he'll get Featherstone to the 30-metre line inside the Whitehaven half before Bussey carries it forward. Bussey going again, hustling and bustling, trying to swing, trying to find a gap here for him to offload, but none for coming. And again, it's Whitehaven, Featherstone now through Holmes.
Put down 10 from the line. This could be a big moment for Featherstone, looking to get that 2-score advantage back. Here's Brown. Oh, that step's good. That step's really dangerous. It's put Whitehaven on alert. But
no runners.
They've defended it well. They've defended it really, really well there, Whitehaven.
Who was he going to hit? Who was Brown going to hit with that ball? There was nobody there wanting the ball, and eventually he just ran out.
So. Oh, Kopchak's run onto that one, and I'm sure he's got it down. That's a big score. A little bit too easy, probably for Gary Charlton's liking. But Featherstone won't mind at all. They get that 2-score lead back. It's 20 points to 10. Copy with the try.
Well, maybe I'm being a bit overcritical there then of Featherstone, Matt, because in all fairness, I think they should have scored maybe two set plays before that, really. But a try's a try, and as you say, it pushes them further ahead. And it is the big frame and the big forward, Craig Kopchak, that gets his second try of the season, and it'll be just what Coach Webster would have been demanding from his team. But it's been a long time coming, Matt. We've had a fair few minutes of this second half, and in all fairness now, will that be the coaching? Will that be the turning point? Will that be the turning point of this game that sees Featherstone, finally move up the gears and get out of second gear and really, really start to, ask questions of this Whitehaven defence?
Brown with the conversion attempt. Mings is still down, getting some treatment. You just see that in the corner of your screen. Here is Brown with the conversion. Sweet hit. And Mins is coming off. That's a shame. He's not quite been able to recover from something with his with his left leg. Say, I think it's around the
well, he'll be gutted.
Area.
Yeah, he'll be gutted, Will Thomas Mims, you know. He's just making his way back into the team and really looking forward to playing. You know, he missed a couple of games through the COVID regulations and stuff like that, and hobbling on from this one, and you can see the look of disappointment on his face. He does, however, see the introduction of Dean Parata. Short kick-off there from Whitehaven, so again, trying something new, Matt.
I'm not sure if they actually meant that, to be honest. It looked a little bit scruffy. But yeah, Parata on, and he makes an impact off the bench almost every game, and I'm sure he'll be looking to do the same here. Featherstone with a 12-point lead, but Whitehaven, you know, everything they've done so far, they'll be more than confident of being able to cause more problems for Featherstone here. Featherstone just need to control possession now. It's just not done it. They just haven't done it for long enough periods in this game. And they've been punished on a couple of occasions. And here is Parata coming forward. Kelly getting involved in the tackle. Bussy at dummy half again. Oh, that was nearly a knock-on. I don't think Holmes was expecting that. Runs it to the line himself. Manages to get his arm through here. Last tackle. And it comes to New Brown. The defence is just a little bit slow up then, and it's a little easy there to get through. It's well recovered in the end. Whitehaven for the first time then just looked a little bit fatigued, Pete. That line didn't move whatsoever as Brown got the ball.
Well, how much is that? It's down to the introduction of...
Parker with the break and gets it away. Coming down the left-hand side. What a ball that is. They've made the break. Hall comes across. Here's Purewall. He can't get the ankle tap. He'll go the distance. What a try from Whitehaven. Straight back in the game. Beautiful down the left. Jesse Joe Parker. Take a bow for that contribution. It's a beautiful Whitehaven try. Game back on 22-14.
Well, it's they say, don't they, it's not over till the final whistle, Matt. And all fairness, great play there, great from Whitehaven. They kept the ball alive, and we've been saying about the danger of this pace of this man, this Puel over on that side, and he's just shown it there, hasn't he? He backed up at the right place. The pass to him was sweet. That allowed him to really turn on the afterburners and go and put down to keep his team well within this. You know, there's still over 25 minutes to go, Matt. Is there still, in this second half, and in all intents and purposes, it ain't over yet. 22-14, and fair play to Whitehaven. You've not given up the ghost, and fair play to that man Purwell for putting it down. And now, if Whitehaven can convert, Matt, you know, it's very, very much looking forward to what's going to be maybe a grandstand finish.
It's a low trajectory on that kick. Just tagged it wide. Got to say, you know, Whitehaven, we spoke a lot this game about their endeavour, the spirit, their effort. That was class. That was quality rugby league. In fact, I'd say, coupled with that try early in the second half, the blindside play, they've put on two real high quality moments for us today.
Well, they have, Matt. You know what I mean? And there's certainly. The level of enthusiasm, you know, and they've been up for it, haven't they? They've really, really wanted to ask questions of this Featherstone outfit so far. And so far, you know, although the scoreboard might not reflect it, they have, you know, they've put 14 points on that, which is something that most folk, before this game kicked off, wouldn't have expected them to have so many points.
No. I'm really impressed. Really impressed so far. 22-14. And here come Haven down the slope, looking for another try, and they are still 2 scores behind when all's said and done, but if they could get another one, if they get the next score, then there's some real issue. Now there's calls here. What's the referee? He's given a penalty against Featherstone. There was a lot of calls straight away, wasn't there, from the Fev team? I'm not sure if it was for a cannonball, maybe?
Well, it certainly looked a bit of an innocuous tackle, didn't it? And as you can see, the Whitehaven lads got up there a little bit gingerly. I think he's counting his fingers and counting his toes, Matt. But it certainly looks to, is it Dixon that has been rattled there by the big frame of Brad Day. So the referee's just stopped play here. Matt, looking at this now, you know, it's Featherstone have got to come up with something, haven't they? You know, and they've got to really, really now try and get this this cohesion that they've been lacking, Matt. It's been spits and spurts, hasn't it?
If we if there was ever an endorsement for the Championship, Pete, this has been it.
Yeah.
For what's going on this year, we've spoke about how unpredictable this competition is. We spoke about it at the top of the show, and this has proven it. Everyone will have seen this as an easy Featherstone win. It has been anything but. I asked Gary Charlton, as an offload comes away here, they really fancy this to Whitehaven with Williams. Over the top to Worthington. Can he get a second? Steps inside. Featherstone have to scramble across. Croston waits at dummy half. It comes to Williams. Next up is Kelly. He'll just take it forward and give the Whitehaven playmakers a chance to bark out some instructions, put some shape and structure into this next attack. It looks like it'll go into it. Goes to the power play with Riley, who's dropped the ball. He screams in frustration at himself. And Hall's coming away. Hall skies through. This could be a big moment. Williams is chasing him down. He gets away from him. And another, and into Holmes. Holmes drives forward. Whitehaven have just about recovered. I say they've recovered. Holmes is still going, skipping away from another. Gale down the middle. It's end-to-end stuff here. Frantic at the Millennium Stadium. What a game this is turning out to be.
Fantastic play. Fantastic play for both sides. Fantastic for anybody that's watching on the Hour League format. And now will Featherstone really try and step up? Or can Whitehaven find something in their defensive locker just to nullify whatever Featherstone are going to throw at them?
Davis coming forward. They've gone from one end to the other here. Featherstone then looking to try and get away from this Whitehaven team that is just coming up with plays and answers every time. They'll spread it to the left. Holmes with the ball now. He wants someone on his inside. He gives the crash play into Jones, who's tackled 5 metres out. Quick play of the ball. They're just retreating a little bit here at Whitehaven. Morsey's big. Morsey's too big. And the man who eventually goes in gets a big score. New Brown. Is that the score that will finally extinguish Whitehaven's effort? If I had to guess, Pete, the answer will be no, because this Whitehaven team is really giving its all. But Junior Moore's there showing exactly what he can do when he gets the ball in hand. Swatted a few off. Brilliant offload. Well, Brown with an easy finish.
You know, let's roll that back, Matt. You know, you've got to go back to the misfortune that Whitehaven suffered by, losing the ball just as they were about to go over the try line. Craig Hall, again, knowledge, wisdom, showing that he had to pick it up and run away, which he was allowed to do by the referee. And that really then set Featherstone up to really try and add to their points tally, which eventually New Brown does. But now you're going to see 20 minutes left, and will Featherstone really now run to ramp up the ante? Will the heads of Whitehaven go down? I don't think they will, Matt. I think that Whitehaven, for all intents and purposes, mate, they will still want to put on a good show. And, so far they have for 60 minutes.
We're just saying, before all that chaos ensued, spoke at the top of the show about this competition and how there's no point predicting. And we spoke to Gary Charlton about maybe them changing some preconceptions about what people think they are, what they're capable of, what they could do this season. On what we've seen in these first 60 minutes, they've done exactly that. Anyone who thinks that Whitehaven are going to be one of the perennial strugglers who are going to be at the bottom taking beatings from the top teams, well, they've proven here today that they are absolutely not going to be that. They've really done themselves justice against, let's face it, a high-quality Featherstone Rovers team.
Well, yeah, you're right in what you say, Matt, and let's not take anything away from Whitehaven here. Don't forget, they've got lots of stars missing, McNally, to name one.
Dion I.
Yeah, Cooper.
Mark Shackley, Liam Cooper.
Yeah, to name a few others, you know what I mean? And they really have, for 60 minutes, asked questions here, there and everywhere of this Featherstone outfit. But as you can see now, it is Featherstone that get a penalty. Hardcastle, as there's a little bit of interference there from Williams. But I'm going to say, Matt, I have been impressed by scrum half Williams. As long as this game has gone on, the guy with the number 7 on his back for Whitehaven, he's really come into it. He's controlled, he's coerced everything, and he's certainly been to the fore for Whitehaven.
Penalty though, they just got rolled a little bit there, Whitehaven, didn't they?
Yeah.
Featherstone, we talked about them playing dribs and drabs. It hasn't really been that today. They've stuck all the way through, haven't they? But I've got to say, a lot of that goes to Whitehaven for the way that they've played. You've got to give them credit as Holmes hammers it out. and they'll start 20 metres out. Now, this is a big opportunity for Featherstone. They've got a 3-score lead now, which puts them in a commanding position with 18 minutes to play. What they will want now is a dominant end to this game. That's what James Webster and the players will want.
It's how you finish now, Matt, rightly as you say, and how do you play out this set of 6? Do you go for ball safety and security? Let's have some drives before we put on out special, or do you try something a bit fancy?
Moores, it's brilliant. There he is, yeah. Junior Moores. You could see that line coming from a mile off, and it is back-to-back tries, and now surely that is the end of Whitehaven's resistance and their hopes of getting a shock win here.
Well, what viewers may not have seen there, Matt, on the screens, etc., was what was clear to us. Featherstone were really set. They looked for all intents and purposes to go down the right-hand side, but then as a sudden quick play, the shout came in. It must be one of their set moves that saw them move the ball to the left, as they had done in the first half, Matt, and that allows for the big man, Junior Moores, to crash over for a try today that's going to push Rovers further ahead. 32 points to 14. About 17 minutes left on the clock, and the kick to come from Brown. Buses leaving the park. Lockwood's coming back on for Featherstone, and is that going to be the try, Matt, that takes the wind out of the Whitehaven sails?
Who knows? No. Brown lining it up, taking his time. Swirling wind does make it difficult to convert here. And, yeah, you could just tell that the wind just pulled it. It went both ways, didn't it? I don't think the wind's particularly blowing either way. It's just swirling within the Millennium Stadium. And when it's like that, it's very hard to convert, because you can't predict where the wind will be when you're about to launch it. Walmsley's back on, so he's past his head knock, which is a boost to them. 32-14. Walmsley with the kick. Gale, he should be playing football. Beautiful first touch. He's had a good game, hasn't he, Gareth Gale?
Yeah, he has. And the Millennium Stadium does look as the home to Wakefield Athletic Football Club. So if they're tuned in, they might be signing Gaz Gale at some point for next season.
I'm sure Featherstone will command a transfer fee.
Definitely.
Can you do cross-code transfer fees? Is that how it works? Not quite sure.
No, we'll find out, Matt. We'll find out. But it is Featherstone that will want to go again. Can they go more or less back to back now, Matt? That's the question.
Brown pops it into Lockwood, back on the field. He's tackled just over halfway. Last tackle for Fev. Ball comes into Brown. Now Holmes on the inside. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And out to Hardcastle. That is a brilliant try. Class personified. Holmes and Hall out to Hardcastle. That is what Featherstone Rovers are all about.
Well, it shows there, Matt, just what this Rovers outfit are more than capable of doing to any opponent, at any given level. And Hardcastle there crossing for a second try of the season for Josh Hardcastle. But again, it just shows, Matt, and we were saying, what will Featherstone do? And they do decide to run it, and they do go back to back. So, yeah, it shows. But where has that been all game, Matt? That's the question that I'd be looking at, and asking if I was the Featherstone Rovers team. It's been very sputtery, very stop-start. But then Featherstone show that what they are capable of, and it should have been like that from the off. In a lot of people's eyes, but you can't take anything away from this Whitehaven outfit, Matt. They've stuck to a task, and that task has been, let's play rugby and let's ask questions of this Featherstone outfit, which is what they've done for nearly 65 minutes of this game.
Brown gets this one in, just about tucks inside that left-hand post. And what did we say about Featherstone being a streaky team? They've just gone 3 back-to-back there, and really put some emphasis on the scoreline now, which is, let's be honest, Pete, I'm not taking it away from Featherstone. It's harsh on Whitehaven.
It is. You can't take anything away from Whitehaven. And like we said, Matt, does it reflect the true performance? From watching the game as we have, Matt, I don't think it does. But again, now it's whether Featherstone will really want to turn on the afterburners and really step up the pace now and go through the gearbox and get this silky try-scoring machine going that they do have in the back pocket.
Lockwood lumbers forward. Next up is Brad Day. Has a big collision with Freehaven defenders. Could hear that up here, couldn't we, Pete?
We could. It's amazing since the introduction of Parata as well, just how it has changed the Featherstone momentum and go forward. You certainly seem to be a lot more comfortable going forward, and certainly seem to have a lot more direction, Matt.
Yeah. Here he is, Parata to Moores. And how do you get hold of him? He's just huge. Big man, Junior Moores. Holmes with the ball. It's coming more to prominence, albeit just about landed in the field of play. I'm not sure if that was exactly what he was looking to do, but it's not worked out all too bad. And the task now for Whitehaven to get back up the field, and they do just look a little bit tired now. Yeah,
I think the effort is certainly starting to take its toll on one or two of the Haven players, but take nothing away from Matt. It's been a very, very creditable performance, and they can go away from here, Matt, with an holding heads up high.
They can, absolutely. They've done more than enough to prove to people that they've got plenty about them, I would say. And they'll be looking for another score or two just yet. They've shown they can score from distance, as Zammit maybe just tried a little bit too hard to get the offload away there.
Just a little bit unlucky there, really.
Well, what's been given here? The referee is giving. He's given a knock on. Who's getting the head and feed? Looks like Whitehaven. Featherstone were arguing that Zammit had actually knocked on, but he did offload it, and Kopchak battered it back, which was perfectly fine. Must have been a knock on in the collision. It must have squirmed loose. So here come Whitehaven again in decent territory. That's a good strong tackle to start the set from Parata. A penalty for offside. Whitehaven, they'll get to have a set to play with in Featherstone's half then, which they'll be quite relieved about, because the last 6 or 7 minutes have been fairly rough for them.
Well, they've been they've been sat on their own try line, haven't they, in defending for all intents and purposes. But now they're deep inside the Featherstone half, and it's what Whitehaven can come up with. Will they? Oh, that's a big running tackle there from John Davis to sit the man down, who just wasn't going to go down, was he, Matt?
No, and Gillam has a word with him. Is that the best you've got? As Williams goes for it himself, he almost caught Featherstone out there, didn't he?
Certainly did.
Cheeky run himself. Newton waits at dummy half. 6 again. Riley into Moores. Potentially the two biggest men on the field there. Locking horns. Whitehaven 3 metres out. Newton into Williams. Here they come. It's go as he got that down. The referee gives a knock on. They're remonstrating with the touch judge, who, well, Whitehaven thought they got it down. It certainly squirmed loose. Whether he got it down first, I'm not sure. We were a fair distance away from that, Pete.
Well, one or two of the Whitehaven players still wanting to carry that on, the discussion with the touch judge here. But Featherstone looking for a quick restart. Did go with Hardcastle, but the referee just held up the play. So now Featherstone will start, and they'll go forward through Brad Day. But how unlucky there, Matt, were Whitehaven.
Yeah, went for a power play. Featherstone. Is that an extra effort there on Lockwood? That was a bit silly, the push from Newton. I don't know, it was unnecessary. That's a first cheap penalty that Whitehaven have given away. Well, that was unnecessary.
I think the referee there, Aaron Moore, was he a bit late in blowing for that penalty, Matt? Because, Featherstone had already tapped and gone, hadn't they? But he brought the play back. But in one way, I suppose it allows them to, to restart the set, doesn't it? And see what they can do. Tom
Holmes played like a prop then. Bumped 2 men off. Showing he's pound for pound a bit stronger than you'd think. There's nothing pound for pound about Craig Kopchak. He's just a big man. who will carry it with intent every time. So here is Holmes once more. This time plays a crash ball into Lockwood. He's almost at the line, tried to smuggle it free, couldn't do so. Whitehaven on the back foot again. Parata, as he tripped over himself pretty much there, Dean Parata.
I think that's excellent defence from Whitehaven there, you know, not allowing Featherstone to get the ball away from the ruck area. And again, you know, now they've come up with an error, Matt, and you know, rather than getting another try, it's just been typical of the how the day has gone for Featherstone, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. So Whitehaven will be encouraged that they've repelled a Featherstone attack there, as Walmsley goes through. Parata came storming out, and Walmsley very quick to make the most of it. Nearly made another break. Would have been his second clean break of the game. Parker next up. Got about 8 minutes to go here at the Millennium Stadium. Zamet, he could hear Jack Bussey coming. He's been pinged for offside. No wonder he's up in his face so quick. He wasn't on the mark. Williams will lumber it forward. Glenn Riley's come off for a well-earned break. It's coming towards us. It's smashed into the stand, bit higher, and would have been catching that.
Well, we said, Matt, didn't we, in the preamble to this? You know, Whitehaven really have nothing to lose, have they? And I think that showed in their performance across the game so far.
Williams again with the ball, tipped on by Taylor. It's come loose. The referee's given first knock on. That's a shame for Whitehaven. That was a Featherstone error, P. Sort of style. Must be said though, Featherstone, I think the comment from James West will be something on the lines of we made it difficult for ourselves, but when the going really got to the crunch, the class shone through, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. There's just been glimpses, aren't there, of the difference between the two teams, and they have been glimpses. As I think it's Parker that's down in back play with an injury, so we do get a stop here, Matt. But you know, my looking at this, Matt, would you say that it's given Webster more questions than answers, this performance today at Featherstone?
It's a good question. I think it's reinforced. For me, I've not seen every Featherstone game. The games I've seen, the class is evident, but there's a lot of rubbish that comes with it at times. The silly errors.
This is better.
This is what they're all about when they're on it. They're still going. Gale might just back himself to go all the way to the corner. Oh, sit down, Lachlan Walmsley. Gareth Gale, my goodness gracious me. He's had an absolute stormer of a game as Gareth Gale. And poor Lachlan Walmsley put his body on the line. I bet he wish he hadn't have done. What a carry. You've
certainly seen there, Matt, two potential men of the match today, you know, and in Walmsley and Gale. And Gareth Gale there, for anybody that knows this Millennium Stadium, the Post Office Road ground, for all intents and purposes, pushed Walmsley that far there. I thought he was off towards the railway tracks at the top end of the ground. But yeah, what a smash that was, and that will have rattled his teeth, if anything else. But Gareth Gale backed himself. He was definitely having the try, and that makes the scoreline a little bit more flattering in Featherstone's favour. 42 points to 14, with the kick to come from Brown over on the far touchline side.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think to answer your question, this has been very much what I'd seen from Featherstone before. When they're on it, they are on it, and they are a cut above the vast majority of this competition. But they do make life difficult for themselves with some really needless errors. But look, this is a tough championship. You've got to be on it. We've seen some bizarre games. There's a bizarre game going on now. You know, we were saying that Toulouse were 34-0 up on Halifax.
Yeah.
It's now 40-28.
Well,
with 20 minutes to go, so it's game on there now. And that's how bizarre this competition is.
Well, I mean, you've got to look at the results, haven't you? You know, Widnes, you know, getting beaten by Batley, you know, and one or two other results. And don't forget, you know, there's a couple of other fixtures still to play today, Mark, that could throw up one or two surprising scores.
Yep. Bradford, Dewsbury. or Dewsbury Bradford, it's irrelevant because it's the home ground for both teams at the minute. So that's and Sheffield, Newcastle. I mean, Sheffield have started great, but it wouldn't massively shock you if Newcastle won because it's just what this competition's all about.
Definitely,
it's how it is. 42-14 it is here then, and I feel a little bit sorry for Whitehaven, Pete, 'cause I don't think it's a fair reflection of how this game has been, to be honest, because for 55 minutes, an hour, it was very, very well contested, but they're just running away with it now. Parata's probably gone the wrong way, but has he got the legs to go it alone? Not quite. Hall was on his right, he went to the left. They are really, really cranking up the pressure now, though, Featherstone. This is what we know they can be, and there's another try. That's a beautiful offload from Junior Moores. They are purring now. This is classy, classy stuff from Featherstone Rovers.
That was very much to you, to me, to you, wasn't it, from Moores and Hall? And you know, it does see Hall grab a try, and this is what the Featherstone fans will have wanted to see. This is what the you know, the Featherstone public would have been expecting, Matt. You know, to see this attacking unit of Featherstone really, really click into gear, and it has just shown there, Matt, again in glimpses, just how lethal Featherstone can be once they get the ball in hand and once they do attack and they go at the line at pace and speed. You know, they really, really do look devastating.
So he's got plenty of goal kicking practice today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has, as Brown.
This one of the easier conversions he's had. Still, nevertheless, taking as much time as he can. Strikes it through, and the score just adding it up, just totting up now, I should say. Sorry for Featherstone. And we can say all we want about the performance, Pete, and yeah, it's been a little bit clunky at times. It's another big score. It's another win. They still are overcoming quite comfortably every team they've played at this level.
Well, you know, when you outscore your opponents 9 tries to 3, you know, it says something in itself, doesn't it? You know, a win is a win, Matt, and you know, I suppose there's a lot of people that will argue and say, well, it's 2 points in the bag. It keeps Featherstone's record 100%. Yes, they've been made to work hard today for it. Yes, they've looked a bit scrappy in places, but you know, the last sort of like 10 minutes, they've certainly shown just what a potent threat they can be. But Whitehaven now do come up with a pass out of the back door there that sets them further down the field, Matt, and could this be a sweet finish for Whitehaven?
Well, only a few minutes to go here as Kelly gets the ball. Now Williams, Walmsley gets it away. They're coming down this right edge again. They've scored one down here. Croston will wait at dummy half. Williams eager to get on the ball again. Guy Graham with the carry. It's a good one too. Put down 5 out. Newton waits in anticipation at dummy half. Will he go it alone here? He's thinking about it. He's still thinking about it. He did well to half squirm free of Junior Moores then. He was brave.
Very brave.
Some would argue foolish to run at him in the first place.
Very brave to go up against not just Junior Moores but also Jack Bussey as well.
Not long to go now. Walmsley will jump in at dummy half here. Just a bit of hesitation. Still going. Tackled. This is the last. Can Whitehaven get a consolation then to mark what has been a really encouraging performance? Not quite, as the ball runs dead for a 7-tackle set.
Who do you see as a potential or man of the match, Matt?
There's been a
Sorry
few.
to put you on spot.
I think Tom Holmes has come into the game well as it's grown, but for me, and I'm impressed every time I see him, is this man. I just think Gareth Gale has been absolutely tremendous in everything he's done, and if I was picking, he'd be my man of the match.
Well,
it's Parata off Davis's offload.
Shows how lethal there again, you know, that quick speed from Featherstone just to keep it going. As the hooter sounds there, and Brad Day will go, he'll just want to kick the ball. Yeah, he'll want to kick the ball dead, and he does do that by aided by the Walmsley there, the Whitehaven fullback. But yeah, I've got to agree with you, Matt. You know, there's been a few contenders. I've been very impressed with Lachlan Walmsley, as we said, in the build-up to this one. I also like the look of the pace man, Aaron Powell. I think Williams has grown in stature as the game's gone on, and he's been able to, you know, certainly when Whitehaven were making the score and making a fight of it, it was all Williams that was helping them do that. But as you say, Gareth Gale for me certainly gets his man of the match award today from the Our League game, and I dare say he'll be happy with that.
Indeed. So 48 points to 14. It's finished. Pete, before we get some highlights, are both teams happy in the sense that Featherstone get a win, they get another big score at the end? They really did ooze class. Whitehaven, yes, defeat, yeah, a heavy defeat, but I think most people who've watched this would argue not a fair reflection, and they've really competed for a long period with one of the elite teams of this competition.
Well, 65 minutes, you know, Matt, you've got to look at it. 65 minutes. If Whitehaven can build on that 65 minutes, you know, that they competed and went toe to toe with Featherstone, then they've got to certainly go away from the millennium thinking, yes, you know, we can build on that. For Featherstone, it's another 2 points in the bag. You know, they keep a clean. Well, they keep the momentum going at the top of the table. And again, putting on a score, because obviously this season it's all going to come down to points average and games played, etc., etc. So, you know, Featherstone showing towards the end, Matt, that just what a dominant force they can be when they do open up this attacking machine. Did they save it till late in this one? I certainly think they did. I think they could have posted a few more tries in the first half, as we said, Matt, but both teams can go away happy, can't they? You know, who would be the happier coach? Well, again, it's going to be a flip of a coin one, that, because you know, for Whitehaven, Gary Charlton, he's got to be happy with that. A lot of players missing, so he's got players to come back. For Featherstone, yeah, a win's a win, and I suppose James Webster's going to be happy with that as well.
Let's take you through some highlights then. And, this Walmsley break, this was a key moment, wasn't it? Because at this stage of the game, Whitehaven were well in it, were within a score, and it's a good tackle from that man, Gareth Gale. Brilliant. He really needed to make that. And it was a key moment, this, because this took Walmsley off the field, and Featherstone did capitalise during that period, which certainly was a shame for them. Before Walmsley did go off, they scored this try. It was this was a, sorry, I apologise, that was was it a try, was it not a try? This was a special play. This was a seriously special play. Jesse Joe Parker through, good offload, and despite the scrambling defence, Coolwell with pace and the support to score, I would say, the try of the game.
Yeah, definitely. We spoke about his pace before, Matt. You know, we've been saying how much of a danger he would be, but you know, again, taking nothing away from Whitehaven. You know, they stuck at a task.
Featherstone did really show what they're about late in the game. Craig Hall going in there for the try. Moores was involved more and more as the second half went on, wasn't he? And this was Gareth Gale's try, and this thunderous carry. Watch this, bang! Yeah. Get out of the way.
Well, he certainly let him know that it wasn't going to be stopped, was he? He was definitely having a try there.
And another piece of action. This was a good try, wasn't it? Down that right edge, Worthington. It just about stayed in. That right foot looked like it may have just crept out before he got it down, but he didn't. Whitehaven will be more than encouraged from what they've managed to do.
Well, that opened the scoring for them, didn't it, in the second half? Yeah. They couldn't have had a better start, really, could they?
No, they couldn't. Parata was lively. You can just see the movement in back play, can't you, and everything coming into fruition there for Featherstone as Junior Moores went in. They did have a bit more about them, certainly later in the game. So, 48 points to 14, it's finished. It's another win for Featherstone, who remain unbeaten and look very impressive indeed. Bigger challenges to come, maybe. They come every week in this competition. and it's been great fun. Big thanks to you, Pete, for being alongside me this afternoon.
No problems. Happy, it's a pleasure. Always enjoy commentating with you, mate.
Thank you very much. Well, that's where we'll wrap up for the afternoon. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Whoever you support, no, you're all rugby league fans, and that's the most important thing. There's plenty more action to come from these two teams across the season. Of course, there's still plenty more to come this weekend as well, but we'll wrap up here. It's finished. Featherstone Rovers 48, Whitehaven 40.
If the dream comes true, and fortune favours the club,